Hey y'all, thanks for vibing with
CeCe and
CeCe, where we talk about all the hot topics. What's your vibe, girl?
girl, just moving and grooving. Ready for this holiday. We're about to celebrate Juneteenth coming up.
Yes.
I love a good holiday celebration. What
Yes,
are
anything planned
you
for Juneteenth?
always celebrated every year? It's my mom's birthday for one. So
Yay!
her shout out to her.
Yes, shout out to moms.
Yes, girl. But how you feeling? What you vibing on? All I got is this H2O right here, trying to stay hydrated for now, well,
Yes. Just
forever hydrated.
a little soda, some pineapple soda, just a little portion control. You're not too major, just a little bit.
Cheers to the pineapple. Bam.
Yes. But what's up, girl? What's the vibes be out there? How's life treating? How's everything out there?
What's so ironic is when you had the pineapples, I've been trying to get back into like the healthy pineapple vibe,
Hmm.
fruits, melon, staying hydrated with like other things besides just water. And I was
Right.
thinking, like, you looking good. I just wanted to give you a shout out real quick.
See?
Yeah, I would say, yes, girl. I see. So shout out to you. But yeah, the
Thank
vibes are been
you.
really good right now. I'm just trying to focus on rebudgeting for July. I have some
Yeah.
things I'm trying to do as far as progressing with like how I handle my money, my finances, my businesses, my
Yes.
time, of course. I know that's a lot to lay out, but sometimes you want to just write some things down and kind of identify what type of planning you want to make or
Sure.
take. So
Yes.
where I'm at right now. But what
That's
about
what's
you?
up,
What's your
girl.
vibe like, girl? What's been going on with work?
Yeah, I just been working a lot, just like you, just trying to just work like and make money and try to get some of these bills down so that we can start, every second I feel like I'm working, I'm giving the government the monies, I'm trying to work, pay the government off my dues, and then
Yeah.
start collecting the money so we can get these businesses off the ground and start, building for the future and generation. So that's kind of
Mhm.
what I'm pretty much on the same vibe as you, just trying to do something different,
Right.
2023 is ending very soon. It's going to come so fast. So I just want
Not
to make sure.
very
And
soon.
I mean, by the time August, it's going to, them holidays after Halloween and the spooky, it's going to be gone.
What? Not the rest of the holidays to end out the year.
Uh,
Oh wow. It does feel like things are moving fast, right? It's like
it is.
it's a difference now, but we're gonna get into these topics because we'll be on a whole nother roller coaster ride in this.
Yes, let's talk about it.
So the first topic I want to talk about is how do you feel about having to choose between your spouse and your family? Being a married woman, I know, and eventually I'm going to be there and be
Yes, you
married to
do.
my man, my husband.
Yes.
So do you think that's a conflict that takes place sometimes, or how do you really just merge the two and make it like, okay, this is what we're doing. Everybody's on a common ground.
Yeah. So definitely, I never want to choose between spouse and family. That's a no. So there's not going to be any choosing, and if anyone makes me choose, then that's going to be something I have to look at the other person and like a double eye because you shouldn't make somebody choose over the love of their life and their family.
Okay, so
So I'm
either
never going to choose. Yeah.
can.
So it's one united family.
Okay.
So like with every family, there's going to be dynamic situations that you're going to have to learn the other person, even though I'm born like you delivered me or I'm your brother and sister, you're still gonna with life, you're gonna still learn that person when different situations arise. So when you have this new spouse, you just gotta jump in there. Just jump in there and start mingling with your new family. And you may get some things wrong because you're learning this individual and you may get some things right. But that's the beauty of family. And one thing about family is you're gonna argue sometimes, you're gonna agree sometimes, and the major thing is there love? Is there love? You want to
Mhm.
work it out, fine, and then that's all that matters. So it's just going to be a day-to-day process, and you just never, in my opinion, you just never know the tools. You just have to do it through trial and error.
Yeah. And really just, I guess, being open to have those conversations when people feel like, oh, well, you know, going against each other or having that tension, anything
Hmm.
like that. I mean, of course, people are dynamic. We have our different personalities. You're learning boundaries with your new dynamic, this new family that you're involved with. But it is based on love. That's the whole point of coming together and being a family. Like when you marry somebody, you know you're taking on, some people don't feel like they're taking on the family too. They think they're just taking on the person. But being a
Right.
family oriented person like we are, you know, it's
Hmm.
just like, hey, we're just merging. We're becoming one big unit at this point. So
Yeah.
all family members disagree. Like you're going to disagree with the ones you love best, the ones you're closest with. So it's just a new element that you're trying to adapt to, you know, and merge. So
Right.
I agree though. You shouldn't have to choose. Like that's definitely a red flag for
Red flag.
somebody, you know, yeah, that's a red flag for somebody to try to make you choose or isolate you from your loved ones or your loved ones trying to isolate you from your spouse.
Right.
It
Because it
doesn't
takes
help.
the army. It takes the army to really raise a family, and just having 4 kids, I definitely couldn't just do it with me and my husband.
Mm.
If we did just do it, it'd been harder. So when you have a family united, uncles, aunts, grandmas, granddads, it really makes a big difference.
Mm.
So yeah, you need a family. So don't isolate them.
So how do you feel about, and this is just an additional topic I was thinking
Hmm.
about when you talked about having 4 kids, raising a family.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays women are requiring the husband to be more hands on with the children.
Okay.
So I think people are starting to enforce like, okay, even though you didn't carry this child for 8 months, you still need to have your preference. You need to be knowledgeable about our child. You need to,
Mhm.
spend the same amount of time if we're switching days for diaper changes and all that stuff, being hands on in every way possible outside of birthing that child. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that? Do you think it's important for a father to be just as hands on as a mother? Or do you think like as long as the mother's hands on and the father helps occasionally, that's sufficient?
Oh, I
Like if,
think I think the father should definitely be just as hands-on. And I actually was just applauding my husband. Like my husband is a really good dad. I could say anything about him, but he's a really good dad. He's hands-on. Like I even saw him this today. Like he just he just the way he just holds his baby, change diapers, he takes him bath, he'll do this, he pay attention to that, and take him to the park. I came back like, oh, I went to the park today. Like he
yeah,
tries, even though he's really busy, it makes a difference because if it's just one, the responsibility all on the mom, just because she's a mom, that's that double standards thing again.
yep,
It gets really heavy because moms nowadays still got to go to work. So if I got to go to work and then come back and then still do all the house things and take a baby bath and do this do that with no help, it can get really, you can burn out. So
yeah.
it's really attractive for a
Mm.
man to be hands on, change the diapers and do things like that, take him to camp. It's really attractive, and it's a vibe, guys. It's a vibe.
It's a whole vibe. I've
Full
seen it
vibe.
firsthand, yes. But not to get too far off into that topic, I do want to give a shout out though to the men that are hands-on fathers and that love their role, that love getting to know their children and building that relationship and that bond with their children and making it known that they know their kids as a father and the kids know their father in that role as well. Like it goes vice versa. That's a relationship that is important to foster. And I'm glad that we're bringing that back and saying how important it is, and men are
Yes.
stepping up and saying how they enjoy being around their children and taking
Yeah.
care of their children. So I'm like, cheers to that once
Here's
again.
the
We
dad.
apply. Yes.
Yes. Here's the good dads, good men.
Father's
Good.
Day is coming up as well,
Yes.
so I guess this is timely. Shout
Day.
out to
Shout out to
dads.
fathers. Yes.
Yes. So the next topic I want us to get into is a little bit of a different direction, but just out of curiosity. So how do you feel about getting your lick back? Do you know
Okay.
what that means?
Can you explain it for the
Okay,
viewers?
I can break it down for the viewers because I know you know what it means.
I don't
But
know.
just, I mean, you might
Uh,
not like. You might.
yes, I do. Shoot,
I
but
know you see. It depends, but
uh,
as we may or may well, as we all may or may not know, better yet.
Right.
Getting your lick back is pretty much like if somebody does something, you then spin the block and do something else. And by
Okay.
spin the block, I mean essentially, okay, they do something and then you do something back in return to say, hey, you're not the only one that's going to try to get over on me. Like,
Right.
and that's just one way to put it.
Right.
But yeah, that's essentially how else would you describe getting your lick back?
That's pretty much the same way I would think about it, but I'm trying to understand the direction. Are you talking about getting your lick back in terms of relationship, or getting your lick back in terms of like a relationship that's not like romantic relationship, like just like a friendship or something? I want to make sure I'm in the same
I think
category.
across the board. Like you think it's a difference between the person. It makes a difference for who you're getting the lick back, I guess, from.
It doesn't make a difference. I just wanted to make sure, is are we talking about like if your spouse did something and then you say, okay, I'm okay, you think you can do that too? Then let me go flirt with a guy. Or you talking about just like a friend being rude and then or take something from you and
Let's
then
okay.
which one are
Let's
we, or
let's do
both?
let's do
Okay.
both. Let's start off with the spouse and then the friend.
Spouse. I probably wouldn't, like, say a spouse hung up the phone on me,
Hmm.
whatever. I wouldn't hang up the phone on them because I'm trying to get them back for what they did. Um, because I don't like, I just wouldn't purposely do it. Now, I could hang up the phone on you, but I'm not trying to get you back. And if you did something to me, I don't think I would just purposely try to get you back. And I just, and I could be petty, and I have probably done it, whatever, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to just like, okay, I'm gonna get my lick back type deal. I probably wouldn't want, I'm just not, no.
You wouldn't want to do it, but
I
if
wouldn't
it
want to
comes
do
down
it,
to
but right. I mean, I wouldn't purposely want to do it, but I'm sure indirectly or I've done it.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
probably know that when I did it, I'm like, man, I'm being petty. I don't need to
Yeah.
be doing all that. Cause I don't like getting my look back like that. I just been move on and just mind my business. I like to just like, I like to lead the situation. Like I'd rather
Mhm.
not go back and forth because the way I'm built, I don't do well going back and forth. So I'd
Mhm.
rather just excuse myself because I know myself too well and I
Yeah.
don't like going back and forth. So that's me. I know myself. So I prefer to be quiet and just move
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
So and then like a friendship thing, like if somebody like did me wrong or something like that, or I probably wouldn't just try to get them back. I probably would try to talk about it and just like remove myself from the situation type deal. But there has been times in the future where something happened and somebody kept like picking at me or something like that, just picking at me, and I kind of like prepare what I'm going to say. Like I don't know if you've
Mhm.
done that. Like, this person say this thing to me again, I know I'm gonna go
Mhm.
off on them, and this is what I'm gonna say. I don't know. That's kind of weird, but I've been in situations like that back in my 20s. I'm like, ooh,
Oh
it's gonna
yeah.
be this is the day. This is the
This
day where I'm really
today.
gonna have a whole speech, and then they don't mess with me that day. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. The
yeah,
day the day you have it prepared with the comeback, you don't have to do it.
nothing. Uh,
But yeah, that's true. So I guess like that's more of a mainstream thing, getting your lick back. I feel like for me,
okay,
that's probably the problem, honestly. I've been getting my lick back way too many times in relationships.
okay,
I feel like every last time I'm gonna get my lick back, like in some capacity. So
okay.
I do think maybe that could be something I will be working on, just letting
Hmm.
it be. Because in general, I know that it's gonna come back anyways. Like if somebody does me wrong or something like
Yeah.
that, it's like you can have that. That's fine. I'm just gonna be glad that I did my best in responding the way I know I needed to. Because I will agree, like I'm like you. I don't want to keep going back and forth because I don't want to say something I can't take back or do something I can't take back or something.
Right.
So for me, I have learned like maybe just taking a step back and letting things kind of smooth over for a little while or die down a little bit, I guess. Then coming back around, maybe we could talk about it differently, or I'll just let it go because I don't really want to hold a grudge. What were you gonna ask?
No, but no, like if in that situation, like I guess if we're in the argument No, I do like if my spouse says something, I do say something back. But I guess and he
Mhm.
said something, then I get something. I guess that is getting me a look back.
Like,
Like if we're
yeah,
in an argument, but like
yeah.
you did you this and this. I'm like, oh, but you this and this while you over there playing. So I guess
Hey,
I do.
you be getting your lick back.
Just give my look
You
back.
be
Sorry,
getting your lick
sorry,
back.
people. I do. I do. I try
The-
not to, but I do. I guess like we'll go back and forth. I do. I do.
Okay, well, see, it's like sometimes
Uh,
subconscious, and it's just like the retaliation. Like, okay, but I do think just in general, working on like, okay, you want to have it, you know, you're wrong for that. I don't have to let you know how, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to one up you and be even wronger. So
right.
maybe that's just something like for the viewers and
True.
everyone, you don't have to get your lick back. It'll be got back for you on somehow like capacity, I believe, you know. And if it doesn't, like some things we don't need to hold space for.
That's
Now,
true.
this is the evolved vibes, you know. We're
Evolve
about
lives.
beyond where we are, but we're hoping to get there. And
Yes.
then like with friends getting lick backs and stuff, I mean, if I feel like I have to get my lick back with you, honestly, I don't want to, but because we're human, I think the relationship dynamic, you kind of
Mm-hmm.
always like, we'll see how I felt, you know? And it's like small stuff. And I'm not condoning
Right.
this, but I feel like people can relate to it. Like,
Yeah.
it could be something real small, like, oh, you didn't call me back. Well, now I'm gonna have to wait a little bit to call you back. Sometimes it's just like, you do it, and it's like, this is just the dynamic of it. It's
Yeah.
nothing malicious. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to one up you, but it's kind of like, okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna take my time now too. Like,
So, what do you think about like a friend that you call all the time, but they don't call you at all,
yeah,
and
I
you
was thinking about that
text?
today.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you text them all the time, but you don't get no text back, and then you see them on the Facebook or something with a group of friends. I'm like, you must have texted all those friends, right? Like, how did y'all meet
Right.
up? So,
Yeah.
what would you do in that situation?
That's a clear flag for me because I was literally having this thought about a relationship that I've had
Mhm.
and how it really doesn't really exist anymore.
Okay.
And I definitely believe in reciprocity. You know, when it comes to that, and if I'm reaching out to you and there's no response, it's one sided. Therefore, we don't have
Mhm.
a relationship because
Right.
basically I'm making up this relationship and it's not being, there's nothing coming back from it. There's no benefit, there's no exchange really.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just like, I mean, if that person wants to have a conversation and figure out why it's not the same or want to just pick up where we left off, then I feel like I've already extended that branch enough for them to know that that's a possibility. That's an open door for them. If they
Right.
don't engage and I end up, you know, moving around and we don't have space for each other like that, we just don't have space for each other, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, but
Yeah. I
that's how
agree.
I feel about it. Yeah. I don't know how do you.
Relationship is two ways.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was talking to some friends about this too, and and I appreciate people are actually thinking about this living more. Like this girl's thinking about being a better friend to people
That's
and
good.
making that extra effort. Because sometimes like doing stuff with your friends may not be very convenient,
Mm,
but you sometimes
yeah.
I feel to show love,
Mm,
sometimes you are going to do something very what is it? Very inconvenient for you. That's how you show love.
no.
So it's not
Yeah.
only when it's convenience that you do things to
Mm,
show that you love something. It's when you see them doing that inconvenience, like, dang, you really have to do all that, but you did. So that's those are the little things that I always see. And
mm,
I've been hearing a lot of like some of my newer friends be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna come through because you know what? Like, I appreciate you as a friend, and I want to make sure that I'm being a good friend to you, like you being a good friend to me. And I don't know how I'm really being a good friend, but I
yeah.
do reach out. I do. If I can't see you all the time, I will talk to you so we can start building a relationship just by talking about different things and stuff like that. So people are noticing that it does take two to tangle. So
It does. It does. And I think it's something to say about your socialization. Like you're a very social person. Like you have friends, you make friends easily, I believe, and you
I
have a
don't.
diverse. You don't think so?
I think you do.
No.
No, I
Chi-Chi.
do.
Chi-Chi,
No,
no. You, but you
I
keep
don't
every
think people are friends.
No, I don't know. I feel like you always have a bigger friend group, I think, than I do. But we both think we have big friend groups.
We're gonna
So we won't
disagree.
even go into this topic.
Ah,
Points not made. Like
ah,
we no points have been made.
ah.
But yeah, so we can get into this last topic. What you got for us,
Yes.
Chi? What you thinking about? What's on
So what I wanted to know is why does men get defensive when a strong lady is trying to share their feelings? So all of a sudden, if somebody say, I really didn't like that you did X, Y, and Z. And then instead of the person just or the a significant other just realizing and understand that what, like, let's talk about this. They get defensive, like, no, I was going to do this and I was going to do that. Why can't you just acknowledge that this person feels this way and talk about it without being defensive and telling me all this reasons why you did it? Like, is it weird when a strong lady gets vulnerable?
That's a good question. That's a heavy question. It's a loaded question. I definitely empathize with the question and can relate. And I
Mm-hmm.
do believe other women, other viewers may feel the same way with trying to verbalize and communicate how you feel or how something made you feel or how you receive something. And the way that comes off sometimes does not feel like it's landing, it's not being received. And that hurts. That's almost like devastating. And yes, the approach that we as strong women have to work on is being very like maybe direct, forceful, um, maybe a little intense about
Mm-hmm.
whatever we feel that we're trying to get across, even passionate. I would say
Mm,
I can relate more
yes.
towards that. And so that may put certain people on the defense for some reason. I'm not sure if it's a masculine presence versus a masculine presence that is trying to receive it. I'm
Mm.
really trying to get down to the root of that because I feel like there's something to be said about that, you know? But what are your feelings about it before I go too deep into that?
No, yeah, I'm trying to get to the root of it too because I mean, yes, some ladies have to be strong, and that's just their
Right.
titles depend on what they're doing on the day-to-day basis. But when they come back home and want to get vulnerable and share their feelings about certain things that maybe they don't like, or they just feel in a certain way, or even if they're having a bad day and they're just like in a vulnerable state,
Mm.
sometimes it just doesn't get reciprocated well, and it's like you're attacking them, or and they come back with defense mode, and you're really just down and
Yeah,
sad, and you just need somebody to pick you up. But maybe it's just, I don't know, it just
yeah.
feels like,
It's like being met with resistance. It's like, oh,
yeah,
just because now I'm breaking down and I'm kind of like wanting to be vulnerable, but I'm not really. Because when you're emotionally engaged, I guess, and emotionally charged, sometimes you don't really know the best way to control how you mention things or how you
yeah,
speak to that emotion. You can't really articulate it the way you would like in that moment. And
yes,
sometimes we just want to be like, it's gonna be
it's,
okay. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's not going to turn me away from you. I don't feel like you're charging at me. You know,
yeah.
now again, there is some women that may take it a little bit too far and start doing things that are very aggressive.
But the
Or
man has to be able to control it, redirect it, because I mean, it's not like every day, but if that person is obviously mentally just not okay, some men, you have to be able to redirect that strong woman and just,
yeah,
take some of those hits, like not physically, but take
right.
take
That's what I
some of
mean.
those and hug them, and even if it's verbally, just hug them and redirect them, because sometimes that's all they need.
Hmm.
Don't just be in defense mode because, like, oh, this strong woman, she's probably attacking me. No, she's probably down and she
Yeah.
needs you to lift her up. So just
Mhm.
sometimes, armor up, be ready to just, you know,
Yeah.
help the lady, help, help
Hmm.
her.
Yeah. For a little bit, give us some words of affirmation. Show some,
Yes.
meet our
Open
love
up.
languages.
Yes.
Right. Babe, it's gonna be good. You're fine. I got you the best way I can get you or have you. Like, I'm here.
Come home.
It's gonna be okay. Like, let it
It's
out.
gonna be okay. Let
Yeah,
it
let
out. Scream at me. That's what makes it. It's just,
right.
men, be ready. Just listen to the lady, your spouse, your significant other. When they're down, just just affirm them, confirm them. Some ladies like affirmation. Some ladies just want to know that it's going to be okay. Even though you probably tell them 100 times, if you feel like they're leading you on to tell them it's going to be okay, they may just want to hear it again. Just be vulnerable, because it really makes a difference.
And I think the more the man meets the woman with that affirmation, letting her know that you can scream, you can cry, you can break down, I think the less she really needs that. Because once you feel secure and comfortable and you know you can go to that man when you need to have him, I think it helps build that tool to be able to like be resourceful and stronger on your own. Like knowing that you have that support, I think, and I know men need it too, but we're speaking specifically about strong women that need to be able to feel secure and comforted and supported by her man.
Yeah. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So
men, it doesn't take anything away from you, men. Like honestly, it makes a woman want to be there and be loyal and give more, you know, and open up more. And I think I heard something. It was one guy on like this podcast. He was just saying like, my wife, she's good. She's smart. She can take care of things, but she calls me just to hear sometimes my answer or my response to have that reassurance.
That's right.
And of course I want her to come to me. Like, why would I not want her to come to me? That's what I'm here for. I want her to feel like she can come to me whenever she needs to. And I'm like, we need more of that energy. There's nothing wrong with being there for your woman.
Squad, you already know. Let us know what you think.
Loud Extra.
Thoughts, your concerns, questions. Definitely comment down below. Of course, turn on your notifications. And let's talk about it.